Good morning. It is 6:45 a.m. on Wednesday, November 1st, 2017. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. This time of year, it's always the darkest before the dawn. I don't mean that in the metaphorical sense. I mean that just literally at the time that I get up, it is still dark out. The days are getting shorter. It's still dark in the morning. And we haven't had the fall back yet, although I believe that's this weekend, which reminds me I ought to double check with all of my Extra Life players to make sure they're remembering the time change. But yeah, so until we have the time change, it just means it's extra dark in the morning when I get up to take Luna outside. And, it's, that's not my favorite. But, at the same time, in the depths of winter, you get this period for me where pretty much every time I take Luna outside, it's dark. It's dark when I get up. It's dark when I get home from work. Dark, obviously, before bed. I mean, I say obviously. I suppose if I went to bed at noon, it wouldn't be dark. But I go to bed at nighttime. Do I have to explain this? Probably not. I just don't want to be dismissive of the fact that some people probably work night shift and stuff. Anyway. So I was talking to my dad on the phone yesterday, and one of the things that I talked with him a little bit about was getting ready for the Extra Life game and what it means to prepare as a dungeon master for a game like this. And one of the things that we specifically talked about is the idea that you don't plan for specific scenarios generally, or rather, you don't plan for specific things to happen because that may not mesh with what the characters have decided to do. So what you instead do is you prepare knowledge about settings. What is this place? What is going on there? Who are the people there? What do they want? What kinds of things could happen? And then you can adapt to whatever the players do. And it just struck me, not for the first time, and probably not even for the first time that I've mentioned it on this video series, but I feel like that's kind of good life advice, right? In the sense that, let's say you're planning a vacation, right? Well, to some extent, having a plan of, okay, well, on day one, we're going to do this, this, and this. And on day two, we're going to do this, this, and this. And on day three, we're going to do this, this, and this. And if we have time, we'll do that too. And you can plan it that way. And if the plan goes according to, design, then you maybe see things with an efficiency. You see more stuff than you would if you didn't really make a solid plan. And for some people, making plans like that helps them. Like they enjoy the planning of it. But at the same time, in a lot of areas of life, there are things that happen outside of your control. And so you don't necessarily get to always have things play out exactly in the sequence that you imagined. Planning a party or some sort of an event, like, well, so-and-so can't show up. This person's late. Oh no, we're out of forks. That sort of thing. Things happen outside your control, and so you need to be able to react in the moment to whatever happens. I feel like I maybe talked about this just a couple of days ago in a slightly different way when I talked about Mike Hadfield's book, Sweat the Small Stuff, by which what is meant is that, be prepared for what problems might occur. And so in a context of Dungeons and Dragons, what that means is instead of saying, okay, well, the party's going to arrive at this city, and then they're going to meet this person, and then they're going to go over here, and then they're going to buy gear from this person, and then they're going to hire that guide, and then they're going to go to this place in the jungle. Instead of doing that, that's what, would be railroading the party. So instead, what you do is you say, okay, well, the adventure begins in this city, and these are the kinds of things that they could do. And you might prepare a few little hooks like, there's this interesting guy waving at you from an alley. But see, if you have it over prepared where it's like, oh yeah, they're going to meet this guy in the alley, he's going to tell them all about this deal, and they're going to go meet that guy's boss, and then there's going to be an assassination attempt, and you can plan out all those things. But what might happen is that in the moment of the game, you have this mysterious figure waving at them from the alley, and then they go, uh-oh, that looks pretty shady. Maybe we should, go away from that guy. He's up to no good. And then as a DM, you're like, oh, but, Now that said, if you're playing with friends, lots of times they'll recognize when you're setting up a story hook and not just go away on purpose. But sometimes they will. In any event, I've now rambled long enough for today, and I'll talk to you tomorrow for 5 more minutes.